This is a part 2 of a video, and this video is inspired by a subscriber who asked the question I would want to answer right now. So I'm going through the conversation. I think the channel is, yes, the video is a banger, very insightful, boss. Please, can you make a video giving an example to show how this 5-step framework is applied in real world? So thank you to Visuals for asking that question. If you've not seen the original video, go check it right now. In the caption, I think the title for that video was Stop Clients from Ghosting You. So in that video, I shared a 5-step framework that I said if you use that repeatedly in where you generate your leads, whether it's in your DM, in your phone conversations, in a physical conversation, or on emails, it will actually stand a better chance of converting for you as a photographer than you just replying from the top of your head. So if you've not seen that video, go see it now. But that 5-step framework is what I want to use real life examples to help 1802 Studio Visuals to actually get the best out of that content. So the first part of that framework was the core message. The second part is the key message. The third part is the social proof. The fourth part is the tone of voice, and the fifth part is the call to action. So those are the 5 steps in that framework. If you are able to master it, if you're able to come up with it and apply it each and every time you have an inquiry, each and every time someone, a lead, whether it's a warm lead or a cold lead, comes to you, if you're able to bring all of these 5 structure into one conversation or into one email or into one DM, you stand a better chance of converting that particular client. Let me start explaining from the top again. But you need to go watch that first video. The core message is about the brand. What do you guys do? What are you guys known for? What do you stand for? What do you guys do? That's the core message. The key message is about the value you provide for your client. The core message here is the brand. What are you? What do you do? And who do you do it for? The key message is the value you provide for the people that you do those things for. Number 3 part of that framework is the social proof. Who have you done it for and what did they say about it? Number 4 is the tone of voice. When you're building a brand, you should know that there is a particular way you communicate. Are you communicating in a friendly way, in an official corporate way, or are you a very jovial, fun-loving kind of tone that you're using? You need to be very specific to use the communication tone, the voice tone that matches your brand in communicating what you're doing. That means that before you even start going to the tone of voice, you would have actually known what your brand is and what it stands for. Because until you're clear on what the brand is, you wouldn't know how to communicate in a tone that would suit that brand. That's number 4. Number 5 is call to action. Your ability to help the person that is talking with you take the next step. And that next step should be a step that actually helps you achieve your goal, which is booking. So those are the 5 things that are inside that framework. So the person asks, how can we use that in the real world? An example. So I would use 2 case studies, right? So that we can be able to see how this applies to every one of us across different genres of photography. First of all, I am not a wedding photographer, so I want to use something that I'm not, but something most people are doing, so you can actually get the understanding from where that is. So we use a wedding photographer, for example. Let's say a wedding photographer gets a DM, an inquiry, someone comes to their DM or someone sends them an email, whatever platform they use in getting leads. Okay, let's use the person that sent the email, that dropped the comments in the YouTube video. Hello, 1802 Visuals. My name is this. I'm looking forward to having my wedding on so date, and I was looking out to hire you as a photographer. How can we work together? That's the message from the would-be client, the prospect in this instance, right? So what 1802 Visuals needs to do is to think about that 5-step framework. The first thing is the core message. What is the brand and what do we do and who do we do it for? the key message, which is the value we provide for that specific client. Number 3, the social proof, which is the things that we have done for other people and what they said about it. Number 4, how do we say all of these things? Number 5, call to action. What do we need them to do next? So in this case, the person said, I'm looking at hiring for my wedding. So what's the next step? You go first, hi, thank you for reaching out to 1802 Visuals. We are a boutique wedding photography company. We specialize in doing intimate events, intimate weddings, and location weddings for our clients. That's the core message. You identify exactly who you are and who you do it for. It's a boutique wedding company. So that means we curate each wedding specifically for the purpose of that wedding, to suit the dreams and the aspirations and the desires of the client at that point in time. So we do not replicate things that we do for client A with client B. It's boutique because it's tailored to the needs of the people or the person that is reaching out to us at that particular point in time. The next paragraph, or the next thing you should say, in this case, let's use DM. So the next paragraph, after saying what you do and who you do it for, the next paragraph is what value is it for the client that you're seeking to serve. So in this case, that's the key message. So you go from telling you what you are, the boutique, and you do intimate weddings and destination weddings for clients. The value in that is that you make photographs that will last generations in such a way that when their grandkids come, they will see how in love and how beautiful and how handsome and how intimate and how luxury the wedding experience of their grandparents was, and would love to do so. So your job is not just to photograph the day. Your job is to make sure that the person that would come years after, when he sees images from that day, will be inspired to do something like that. You're not selling that you're going to give them frames. You're not selling that you're going to give them photo books. Those are deliverables that would come in to help you actually nail the point that you're trying to sell. Remember, there's one video that I made that we make buying decisions based on emotions. So your key message is for you to articulate the value that you're giving to the client and tie it into something emotional. When it comes to wedding, you will always know that people love their weddings to be a certain way. And most of that time, they are just fixated by the time that you are in. So imagine that you've moved them from the pictures will be shown to your kids to a generation that people always love, which is the grandchildren. Once you bring that emotional tie to it, it gives them another perspective to the things that you do, meaning that you are saving this particular experience that they have now for the people in their lives that they have not met yet, but they will love the most, which is their grandkids. So by connecting that and mentioning that, you are bringing emotions into the thing that you're selling, which is now the key message. So now you've done the core message, you've done the key message. The next part of that framework is the social proof. This is where you mention, I have done it for this person, I've done it for this person, and this is what they had to say. So every time that you photograph a client and the client gave you a feedback or the client gave you a testimonial, that is where you now say, in July of last year, we photographed this couple, Francis and Debbie, in the outskirts of Ghana, and this is what they had to say about the experience with our photography company. You bring their testimonial on quote and drop it in that body of the email or body of the DM. So you need to be able to show people that other people have used your service, and this is what they said about you after using that service. Because you need to understand that people will not just hire you because you said you're good. People will not just hire you because of your core message, because of your key message. People will hire you because other people have experienced the core message, have experienced the key message, and have gotten the deliverables to back it up. and they had something to say about it. So the key here is for you to understand that people will make that decision because other people have done it with you. So they trust you not for you, but for the people who had done that thing with you and they got value for it. So that's number 3. Make sure that you put in that social proof. Social proof means testimonial. Social proof means feedbacks. And whether you got the feedback on Google review or they did a testimonial video for you, you can turn the video into transcribe and written word out of it, or they just send you a message via WhatsApp. Whatever platform you take your feedbacks from, make sure you bring that feedback and mention the name and the date of the wedding inside of it. The next one is the tone of voice. Remember I said the tone of voice is about you understanding the brand that you're building and how do you communicate in such a way that it shows the essence of the brand. The essence of the brand is this brand a friendly brand? Is this brand a corporate brand? Is this brand a jovial one? Is this brand a funny brand? Right? Because if you're a brand that is very corporate, that means your communication style, your tone of voice should be very corporate. But it makes it not align when you're now making jokes or making fun or just answering DMs and saying, hey man, what's up? You will not be using what's up, how you doing, when you are not, doesn't fit into your brand persona. So the tone of voice is what you use while you're trying to communicate your messaging that will fit your overall branding experience. So if your brand is about fun, maybe you're with kids, you're a kid photographer, it has to reflect in the way you answer the DMs. If you're a corporate headshot photographer, the way you answer, the tone of voice has to reflect that. If you're a wedding photographer, it has to reflect that. You need to communicate in a way that reflects your brand. That's number 4. The last but not the least is, now you've told them all of this, who you guys are and what you guys do, what they will get out of it, what other people said about you, and you've communicated in a way that they would fit your brand and also align with them. How do they move forward? So if you're someone that always do the discovery call, so if you don't know, discovery call is that when you set aside 10, 15, 20 minutes call with your clients to know more about their vision, about their desire, about their dreams, so that you'll be able to craft something that will represent what they want. And in fact, you should be able to build a visual bank in their head, so that way they know exactly how it would look, how it would feel when you get to do what you want to do for them. So most people just go ahead and say, okay, I'll send you my rates, but other people go ahead to say, okay, we'll book a discovery call and we can now get to know your ideas and your vision for what you're trying to do. The goal in all of this is whether you're the one that just after that your call to action is you sending them your rates, or your call to action is them asking them to set aside a date that will be earliest convenience for them for a discovery call. Whatever it is at that point that you introduce it. So moving forward, we can get to a 30-minute discovery call where we talk about this. Or moving forward, I can send you my booking rates. Or moving forward, I can show you my portfolio to see more about the things that I do. You need to point them in the direction that you want them to go. People want to be led. So your job is to tell them, this is the direction, go towards this place, and this is how we do what we do. That's what the call to action is. Most of the time, you allow the conversation to just end there and you not tell them what to do. One of the things that would do for you if you follow this format is that if they answer, you can now have a follow-up like, when can we fix the meeting? Or have you checked the portfolio out that I sent the link to you? So you have things you could go back to them to talk to them, because follow-up is a great part of what we do. At the end of the day, if you don't put in those structure, it is harder for them to be convinced about you. It's harder for them to make up their minds about you. It's harder for them to see that other people have used you, because it helps people make up their minds easily. whether to ghost you or not to ghost you, because the goal of that first video was to tell you why people ghost you. So when people send you a DM, you just answer directly, hi, how can I help you, or how can I be of help today? You see those kind of messages that you send a message to a photographer, the automated message drops in, bam, how can I be of help today? So instead of using those, how can I be of help today, or how can we be of service today, craft this reply that consists of the core message, the key message, the social proof, the tone of voice, and the call to action. Craft it all out and then put it as your automated message. So when someone sends you that message, it goes straight up in. If someone sends you an email, you just get it and put it there. What will happen is that there would be uniformity in how you communicate, so that you don't answer to one client a certain way, another client comes, you answer a certain way, and maybe you hire someone tomorrow, the person now answers the DM or answers an email the way he or she wants to, and may or may not align with the goal and the drive and the perception that the brand is trying to build. So by getting all of this written out, like a full-blown email or a full-blown DM, you have a structured way of communicating with the prospects that are coming to you. So either someone reaching out to you, or you're trying to do cold DMing people, the person doesn't reach out to you, you're the one reaching out to the people you're trying to pitch. That's a better way, using that framework to pitch, a better way of communicating every single thing that you do and having proof that you do what you say you do. So at the end of the day, the goal of what I share on this YouTube channel is to take your mind into spaces that you can say, this is my photography. What is the core message? This is my photography business. What is the key message? What are the things I could use to ask people, the questions I could ask people, so that I would have an efficient way of collecting testimonials? And what are the questions I could ask these people so that the testimonial would drive a certain result for me? Because it's not just about having testimonial. The testimonial should be able to drive conversion. So there are specific questions you should ask your clients. That way they could give you specific answers, and those specific answers leads to one thing: conversion. It's not like a good to have kind of thing. Oh, we should have a testimonial because some other person is doing a testimonial. The testimonial should be crafted to save the things that you want for the business. So at a point in time, if you're trying to drive conversion, your testimonial should be able, the question you're asking the client should, when the client answers that question, it should be as is answering the question for another client who may have had the same questions to ask. So you have someone that has done with you what you want to do, and the person has given that feedback, answering that question. So think about it that way. Don't go about doing testimonial for testimonial's sake. Do testimonial to fit in to the drive that you want to achieve with your business. And the call to action, be very clear on the next step you want them to take. Even when you've gotten the 30 minutes discovery call, at the end of that discovery call, make it very clear the next step. If the next step is for them to make a deposit, or payment structure, or agreement on the first day of the shoot, or signing contracts, you have to be the one leading that conversation at every point in time. Once it gets to an end of the conversation, show them the way to follow, which is the call to action. Tell them what to do. Like I'm going to tell you at the end of this video right now, as it's ending, make sure you subscribe if you've not subscribed. Make sure you turn on your notification, because every Friday by 8 a.m. West African time, I drop a new video that helps creative business entrepreneurs not just build business that are sustainable, but build business that are profitable, because I share simple, workable, and achievable strategy that really works. So if you're a photographer, a videographer, you're in the fashion space, whatever creative endeavor that you're doing, this is the YouTube channel that you want to be on, because you learn everything from strategy to branding to perception building to getting clients, lead generation, conversion, sales, marketing, advertising. It's a whole package of what we do so that you move from being a struggling artist, move from being a struggling creative entrepreneur to someone who is profitable doing what they love. Dear 1802 Visuals, I hope I've been able to answer your question. I hope you're able to use what we've done here to better the business that you're doing right now. And if you have any other question, any other person that has any other question, make sure you send it in. I hope to see you guys in the next video.